Hello, I am Jessica, and I am the founder of Grace Advocacy Group. We are a faith-based group that provides hands-on support, empowerment, resources, and social services to individuals, families, and at-risk youth who have been affected by trauma, abuse, domestic violence, and adversity. We offer supportive empowerment groups twice a month, workshops focusing on self-care, wellness and professional and personal development, business mentorship, clothing, food resources, and referrals for mental health and social services. We partner also with local CBOs and faith-based organizations, nonprofits, church, marketplace leaders, educators, businesses, to provide quality services that collectively impact our members in a positive way. Our mission is to empower, educate, and elevate communities affected by trauma, abuse, and violence to live the best lives holistically, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, providing people tools for a successful transition from just merely surviving to thriving. Our vision is to have healthy, safe, and thriving communities of people who are living their best lives healed with purpose and joy, creating a positive impact on the world. And to tell you a little bit about how important impact is, when you're investing in one person can change the whole entire environment, can change their children, their families, the communities around them when one person is positively impacted. And how I know that from personal experience, about 6 years ago, I started my journey to healing through relationship counseling. And when I started the relationship counseling, the other party decided that they no longer wanted to continue the counseling. I had a nudge inside of me to reach out to the counselor and do one-on-one counseling. In that first session, I started uncovering certain things about myself that stemmed even from childhood. And that revelation caused me to say, I'm going to invest in my health. I come from a family that used to have a stigmatization of therapy, of being something that if only something violent happens, we're going to possibly get help. But other than that, the stigma was, if you go to therapy, you're crazy. So that's why I never really went into it. Was dire. And in that decision making, I made it a priority to do it on a regular basis. And in that situation, I started to go on a regular weekly basis. In the situation that I was in, it was not safe. And I had to even sneak to go to therapy because the person I was with did not want me to be free. And in those therapy sessions, my counselor offered for me to join a women's empowerment group. I didn't think nothing about it. I'm sure I'm gonna join a women's empowerment group. I joined a women's empowerment group. It was an 8-week program. 7 weeks into the 8-week program, reading one of the activity sheets, I see in the fine print a little reference of where it came from. And all I remember it saying something regarding domestic violence. As I was in the group, sitting there amongst this group of ladies, I uncovered and discovered that I actually was in a domestic violence support group. And the relationship that I was in at the time, 12 years, was actually a domestic violence relationship. And how I was in it and did not know it was a shock to me. I will never forget this day 6 years ago. And that changed my life forever. That moment on, I understood that domestic violence is not just a physical thing. It is mental, psychological, emotional, financial, sexual, and physical. And some experience all of the different types of abuse, some experience some, but the end result is never going to be good. And in that group, I discovered there were women who were friends with other women that no longer were living because they were killed by their abuser. And that's when I decided, you know what? I want to live. I want to live. I continued that group. I continued that therapy, and I made a decision to make that a part of my lifestyle. Now, this is not something that I'm just going to do for the moment, but this is going to be something that's a part of my permanent self-care routine until I pass. That is what changed my life forever. That decision, because someone invested their time. There were times I was not able to afford the therapy. I didn't have a job at the time, even with 2 degrees. I had a small baby. I was living with my family because of the abusive situation, had to relocate me. And even with that, I sacrificed the little pennies I had to invest in that. There were times that they even offered the services without even charging me, because they seen the need was so great. That investment changed my life forever. And that's where I can say I am here now. It prepared me mentally at all the levels to then be able to work again. Once I was able to really work again and still continue the process, I was able to really become more of a whole person. My son's life changed. My family's life started changing. People around me started changing in my circle. And I started seeing the impact because I was healing on the inside. Everything around me started shifting. Fast forward 6 years, because I started that process and someone invested in me. Now we have a group of upwards of 20 people that we are providing hands-on support. These are individuals and their families that we are providing hands-on support just because I made that decision 6 years ago. I sowed that seed 6 years ago, and as I was able to do that and focus on healing from the inside, self-care, then I was ready to then pour what I learned, all the techniques, safety planning, dealing with court, orders of protection, custody, all the things that I've learned through this healing process, I have been able to pour into other people. And now other people are getting healed. And this is what I want you to be a part of with me. I want you to collaborate. The help that you can provide, the support that you can provide in so many different ways will positively impact somebody's lives and their families and their communities. So it can be either volunteering your time with us. We just opened up our first empowerment office, our personal empowerment center. We're providing these services. It can be support as far as clothing, food, self-care, and hygiene products. It can also be donations, the financial support. Even if you want to say $50 a month, you want to sow into what we're doing, that will help us tremendously. So we ask you today of collecting your impact, joining us, supporting the change of lives that are also going to impact our community. Thank you, and I look forward to collaborating.